Hello, all. Welcome to my podcast in the series where we explore health innovation and health delivery changes that, when implemented, can make a huge impact for all of us. In this series, I would like to introduce Dr. Murthy Gokula to all of you because I believe he's doing something different that might change how we view medicine and how we view healthcare delivery and how we need to view disease in itself. So, Dr. Gokula, I would like you to introduce yourself. I know you have a lot of great achievements under your belt, but I would uh, like to hear it from you.
Hi Lakshmi, thanks for having me on this podcast. It's a great evening, Friday here, and I am a lifestyle and longevity expert, consistently delivering disease reversal through evidence based medicine. If I have to describe myself in one line, I have a very interesting journey. I'm from Hyderabad in India, left in 95, went to Jamaica, and was there for 2000. But one interesting development was when I was in my boarding school in Hyderabad Public School, Ramantapur, in 8th grade. That's when my whole mind shifted. I had only two goals: one goal to be a doctor to serve humanity, and the other goal is to find why I was born. So I searched for both. Why I found my purpose, and I'm into Ramchandra mission, and I do meditation, heartfulness for the last 30 years. So that's my purpose, to become one with God, or to become divine, to become the object of love. But then on the material side, I became a doctor and I wanted to serve. And like was in med school, I got into Siddhartha Medical College. I actually adopted an orphanage with 60 children, which is basically a SC, BC hostel. I gave healthcare for three. I used to bring all the medicines from the local pharmaceutical companies and invite my intern doctors to kind of do once a month. I started a literary club, Emotion, Speak and Act Too, and Wall Magazine. So I did all this gig, and then I left to Jamaica, right? And in Jamaica also I did a lot of church clinics. When I left, I was on the national newspaper, dedicated doctor leaving Jamaica. So I always had that sense like service has to happen. But obviously when you come to United States, service is not so easy because you have malpractice, you have a lot of gigs. But now I'm in a great position now, that I and the purpose was to come to America is to invent something, create something. So I got into research very early in my residency, published 7 papers. I created an indication sheet for Foley catheters. It's called urinary catheter indication sheet, and kind of was on the state demonstration project, and continued through my University of Michigan geriatrics and then hospice palliative medicine. I moved to Toledo in 2016, started the geriatrics fellowship and got the approval from ACGME, and then was the program director for 10 years. And the second gig that was the second gig was I got my fellowship for the university, and the third gig I wanted to give US was to kind of create a healthcare delivery model. So in 2011, I started dwelling into telemedicine. I moved away from Foley catheter because Congress passed a rule and hospitals were getting fined if you give catheter associated UTIs. So that my mission accomplished. And then telemedicine, because I thought technology was the way to leverage medicine, and I started doing remote patient monitoring and home-based care. Being a geriatrics and a hospice palliative guy, I was doing telehospice, telepalliative care. And in 2013, I wrote a huge grant, $10 million grant for CMS CMMI award, creating a new healthcare and a new payment model with assisted living, independent living, and home. But university made a simple mistake sending my grant with 17 lines in the budget, single spaced. Nobody read the proposal. So I literally was disappointed, and by the time I became a citizen, I left the university. And then I started my own practice in 2018, and I got into lifestyle medicine, and I changed my lifestyle. In 2020, I got board certified, and in 21, I took over a practice from Dr. Nielsen, who was pretty much like an integrative, functional, anti-aging, longevity. So we have a board called American Academy of Anti-Aging and Regenerative Medicine. So I learned the hard way, and in 2024 I got board certified. But in this journey, what I realized is when you blend lifestyle and longevity, you address the 8 drivers of chronic disease, like the inflammation, the insulin resistance, toxins, hormones, gut health, epigenetics, and stem cell and mitochondrial dysfunction. And in my practice, I was able to do disease reversal. Look at this, Lakshmi. Doctor, DR, disease reversal, not disease prevention. And
That
that,
that is an interesting take on the acronym DR. Certainly, disease reversal. Yeah, I
exactly.
think a concept that needs to probably have more light shed on it. Yeah.
Absolutely, because in our country here in US, we have a very sick care model. And if you look at the amount of money we spend, it's in the last 2 years of human life that we spend all the healthcare dollars. And despite being the most advanced country in the world, we are somewhere 18th and below. It's dropping still with our healthcare indices. We are not a happy nation. So in 2024, I went to a business meeting with Bill Walsh, and he said, with all your credentials, 5 board certifications, why don't you write a book, create a new model? And that's how I landed up with this Live Well model of care, wherein you address the 8 drivers. And then in my head, I was always thinking that Indians have actually promoted lifestyle medicine 3,000 years ago. Can you believe that? So there's a
Why would you say that? I would like to know more.
absolutely. It's called the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, the Ashtanga Yoga. If you look at that, it's the 8 steps to self transformation, which was basically for health transformation. So, what is the first step is the yama, which is what are the don'ts? Like, you should not tell lies, be honest, don't be rude, be kind. These are some virtues that each of us have to have in a civilized society.
Like a
Then,
10 commandments of the yogas.
exactly. So each of these 8 steps bring lifestyle, don't harm animals, eat most vegetarian, do those
Mm-hmm.
rituals. And then yoga, then breath work, and then kind of dharana, have that focus. And then again, dhyana and samadhi are about happiness. So I brought that in, and then my book is about 8 habits to health and happiness. And I'm trying to bring those age-old principles into modern medicine and change behavior. Because with all the knowledge around with AI, you don't need anybody to do lit search for you. Now that'll do it for you, and you can get the original articles and you can expand on it. But how do you change habits? So I've been working on an integrative approach, a holistic approach, wherein you focus on disease reversal. I call that the Live Well program. And I decided, I'm going to be on this journey as a true doctor, disease reversal. I want to be known as the best disease reversal doctor for the rest of my life. And in India also, I'm converting this book to called Healthy Bharat, using the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and then attacking the non-communicable diseases.
That is very, very interesting. To understand that we as humans have discovered that we can live well, and all these things have been put under principles, under guidance in our scriptures, way long back. I'm sure if we try to search different cultural histories, we'll find um, similar instructions to live well from any ancient cultures that have survived. So knowledge is there, but the implementation, the acceptance, the delivery, the adoption has been lacking.
Right, right. So the most important thing is, if you look at the world, uh, we have blue zones wherein
Okay.
80% and above they live 100 years. And if you see their habits, they're all about, they're not rich, but they have
Mhm.
strong social connections. They breathe fresh air. They eat whole food, plant based. It's not like they're completely vegetarian, but everything's natural. But now, currently, with all the toxins, the adulteration in the food industry, and the processed food, the ultra processed food is happening. By the way, Lakshmi, your camera is all hazy, and You're not so clear. So I don't know.
The recording is clear, so
Okay, good.
please carry on. It's probably some receiving, but it's clear on my end. It's good.
Good, 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 good. I just, well, I mean, you're a bright sunshine for what you're doing. So I want it to be bright even on the screen.
Yeah, it is. It is. I will send the recording.
Sure. Thank you. So, there are already blue zones in the world that live. So my goal is being a geriatrician and a hospice palliative medicine doctor. I've seen death and frailty, and so my goal is always to improve function and quality of life with patient care. And in Jamaica, I was doing 2 years of OBGYN, so I saw birth too from a very close quarter. So I've seen birth and I've seen death from very close quarters. So I've kind of realized, I don't have control over these two, but what I have control is in the between. And lifestyle, people blame genes. That's not right. All of us are loaded with genes when we are born. We are born perfect with no diseases, except if you're genetically susceptible. But then your lifestyle is the trigger for the gun. And 80% of non-communicable diseases. So I wish to kind of create disease-specific disease reversal programs, and then kind of offer that, do workshops, do retreat centers, and then spend the rest of my life in trying to do this both in India and in the United States.
That's awesome. That's an awesome goal to have and work on. Like I always ask people after they achieve something like you did halfway through your life, I'm like, what is the next mountain you want to climb? Because I think the mountain you want to climb next keeps you going, keeps you focused, gives you purpose. And with the longevity space and, as you say, the disease reversal space that is come into your life, you will have a pretty long life and a very good quality of life. So you want to have many more mountains to climb. I hope you get more of these.
Absolutely, because I strongly feel that when you can get up every morning, and no, the journey is not easy. I've been in this entrepreneurship journey for the last almost call it 10 years, and it's not been easy. There are lonely moments. I'm sure you're also an entrepreneur. You do so many things and you're impacting so many people. I'm sure you can relate to this. You feel lonely. When you're in a professor at the university as a program director, everything's around you, the system protects you. But when you're by yourself trying to do this journey, as you rightly put it, it's like you're trying to climb the mountain. And then I always say, like, I was one of my motivator is Jim Rohn. I'm sure you heard of him. He says, like, if you can, or Earl Nightingale, when you can wake up and have a goal that has a purpose for you, and that's what success is all about.
That's awesome. So I will just divert a little because you talked about being spiritual and intellectual. So, how did your spirituality help your profession?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when I was in internship in Gandhi, there were two people who were responsible. Vivek, who is an orthopedic surgeon now, and Shekhar, who's a radiologist. Both of them introduced me to this Ramchandra mission, and I got my 3 sessions there. And I went to Chennai. I met my spiritual master Chariji, and that changed the whole dynamics. And when I came back to Hyderabad, I actually gave a lecture saying that I was searching for the light, and I found my light, and this light is going to be the guiding spirit for the rest of my life, and I never looked back. Because this Ramchandra mission or the heartfulness meditation is about having one material wing and one spiritual wing, 50-50, and you fly like two wings of a bird to your destination. And if you remember, I told you that I had a purpose of my life is to become one with God and attain moksha, as we always say in Hindu culture or Indian culture. So I found this path, and I found the right train, and I had a practice called meditation and evening cleaning and night prayer. But what this helped me is to give me a sense of strength that I have in my inner strength. It doesn't matter what happens around me, I'm in my inner space. I'm very strong, happy, and uh, I have my moments as anybody else, but it gives me that strength to rebound back. And how did that help me with my profession is that constantly it has grounded me, and it has kept me humble. It has helped me to remove my ego and become that object of love and what and connect with patients at the human level. So I wrote I like writing and acronyms, and so my life is, if you have to say, hey, can you describe your life in a sentence, it's live to bring love to bring life. Sorry, love
Okay.
bring life. So what is love? Losing ourselves very easily to bring life, light inside forever.
That's beautiful.
So
Yeah.
what's love is the light. What's that's the divinity. So if I can connect to Lakshmi, not as Lakshmi as a female, but at the spirit level, which we're all spirits, we all have that body, mind, spirit. And then at the spirit level, if I can connect with you, that divinity, then it makes it easy for us to have that human connection. And it translates very well to the one of the pillars of lifestyle medicine, which is social connections, you know, and that helps to be your true self and the genuine self, you know. So, and I feel very proud because people who see me after 40 years say, hey, you didn't change much. I say, what's there to change in life? You're the same person, except you aged, but you're you're the same person. So your body, mind, spirit should be a constant. As far as you may evolve as a human being, become a better person and a better version for yourself, with increased tolerance, increased humility, less ego. But the bottom line is, the idea of service also. Spirituality helps to give you and to give, than to actually ask and take. So that's how spirituality helps me in my own profession to be of service, to be of care, and to make a difference in human lives, being a doctor.
That's awesome. So you actually brought out a unique concept that I believe in too. That spiritualism and materialism are not mutually exclusive, but inclusive and are there to support each other to evolve. So I
Absolutely.
like what you have explained in more words, but yes, I love that you used both as crutches, as your wheels to drive the driver of your life to get to where you are, because one is not exclusive of the other. One supports each other when most needed and helps to grow. If you are not bodily comfortable, we can't be spiritual sometimes if you're suffering, and vice versa. And when you might have material comfort, you might not be mentally fit. So both do support and are very inclusive of each other and can be at the same place together, can help us evolve together. And I like that you have had spiritualism in your life always. I've had it, but in different forms, not a single form, but different forms as I grew up and adopted.
Absolutely.
Now,
Each of us have our own journey, and
mhm,
every journey is unique. That's the beauty of life. And the Ashtanga Yoga, if you look at it, the 5 steps are about health, and the last 3 steps, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, are about happiness. So that's why I like that concept. One wing is health, one wing is happiness. You have a fulfilled life.
yeah, okay. That's awesome. So now we will exactly talk about disease reversal uh, in current healthcare delivery. When you say disease reversal, what do you mean? Do you mean you can reverse the disease to ground zero, or what are we doing here in the process?
Great question. I mean, you'll be frowned upon, when you say disease reversal 100%, That's not the
Mhm.
goal. The goal is, how did this start? This non-communicable diseases. It's because of lifestyle. So what you do is you start where the patient is, and you start explaining to them what it takes to kind of reverse, and then slowly. It's a stepwise approach. It can't be a all or none approach. You start where the patient is, see what they want to change, how they want to change, And it depends, it's a mutual relationship. And then, I always say change is the instrument for progress, based on my Babuji spiritual master said that. Change is the instrument for progress. And in lifestyle medicine, when I was taking the test, they taught us that lifestyle medicine is not about perfection, it's about progress. So disease reversal is about trying to progress from where you are and reverse the journey by changing your nutrition, exercise, stress management, sleep, addictions, and social relationships. And then you address these drivers. Everybody has a different driver. I mean, I haven't. And then you slowly, for example, I'll tell you, I had a probably 70-year-old lady who came stating that she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and she was on 5 meds, and she said, I really don't know why I'm not getting better. I feel the same way despite taking all the 5 meds. So after I examined and I used my approach, I thought hormones were the problem. And I did female hormones. Obviously, she was postmenopausal. She was not sleeping well. And I gave her progesterone, and I did compounded bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. And within a month, she stopped all her pills for bipolar by herself. So after 3 years, because her son had a disastrous situation and ended up in jail, that's when she broke down, and now she's only on one medication to help with her depression. But I just want to say that if you make it personalized, you can, because I literally, the bipolar is not in her chart anymore. She's functioning very well and doing very well. So I have several cases like type 2 diabetes. You can't say reversal completely. Now the American College of Lifestyle Medicine is coming up with definitions for reversal, remission, based on the number of, the duration of time that the hemoglobin A1C is below 5.6, and based on the medications that are removed. So there are several criteria how you define those things. But if if I'm putting the journey high, disease reversal, then I can try to aim. And everybody has their own pace, but being a concierge doctor, people join, but some people, they don't change. So that's why I'm struggling trying to create habits and create a framework, and smart goals and fit prescriptions. And I create a framework called My Goal, Do It. And like Nike, just do it. And My Goal, Do It. And then I'm trying to create habits. And the more habit creation happens, the more disease reversal happens. By no means it's easy, but it's all empowering the patient, and you get them to kind of be equipped with all the tools that they can actually do this journey. And I always say patient is the boss, doctor is the coach, you know.
Yeah, you mentioned something while you were talking about motivators. That's what I was hearing while you were talking. We don't know what motivates whom, and what framework actually makes them take that small atomic habit, or that small change or small step for habit creation.
That's
Um,
right.
yeah, so I think
Atomic
it,
Habits is a great book. I
yeah.
read that book, and I use the principles quite a bit. But
Mm.
it's not like one certain aspect just works for all. It's you got to
Mhm.
individualize this, personalize this, and there are some people who will say this is something. I just saw a 20-year-old girl. She has GI issues and all. She once I told her my model of care. She said I can give up anything but not my steak. You know, so it's like you got to kind of work with them, and but get them to feel better, feel well, and then the trust builds, and on the trust you kind of build. And but the goal post is very high with disease reversal.
That's awesome. So, when you say concierge medicine and the current health medical system that is being delivered, like what is the stark difference that you feel as like you have shifted from being in a university, being a regular physician, being in the university, and now a concierge? What are the stark differences that stand out, and why they are still existing? I mean, the system, because I feel it's high time it needs to change. Yeah.
Well, our healthcare delivery model across the globe, it doesn't matter where you go, it's a sick care model. Our physicians are being trained to attack disease. We are structured in an organ system model, and we have specialists, but we don't have somebody who teaches nutrition, who teaches how do you write an exercise prescription. So in my model, when I did lifestyle medicine, it brings to a certain extent, and the example that I gave you, hormones, until you fix hormones, you're not going to. How is it that a woman lives and suddenly has postmenopause, or a man andropause and suddenly doesn't need these hormones? You got to replace them. And it doesn't matter how much lifestyle changes you have, you still have to replace them. So that's why I have an integrated model. So that's how my model is different, wherein I'm actively looking to address these 8 drivers, name it inflammation. And look at it, when I created this model, it was way back in 2021, and in 2023, the longevity people, the hallmarks for aging, they have changed. There were only 9 hallmarks, they added inflammaging. So inflammation is the driver, insulin resistance is the driver, toxins, hormones, gut health, epigenetics, stem cell and mitochondrial dysfunction. So when I see the patient, I kind of figure out which area to focus, and you start focusing on those areas, and then you address those areas, and people get better. So I just saw a patient wherein her thyroid antibodies are high, but the thyroid numbers are normal. So when your thyroid antibodies are high, it means that there are 3 things I do differently than a regular doctor. I fix the gut, I start them on low dose naltrexone, which is an anti-inflammatory and immunomodulator. Then I ask them to stay away from gluten and start the journey. And I reverse my own antibodies and I tell people these are some of the poisons like processed food, sugar, animal products including eggs, dairy, refined flour and gluten. I can give on a lecture for like the whole day why these things are bad for human health, but how many people are really going to be compliant? So, but that's again comes back to our previous discussion about habits. So that's how I'm different. I do a medical visit, address the current issues, then I do a lifestyle medicine visit, and then create goals, and then start working on these but I want to make sure that I consistently deliver disease reversal. It depends on the person and depends on the severity of the disease, how much I can reverse, but that's the whole goal and focus, and that's how I'm different. I'm not trying to say, okay, here's your prescription for diabetes meds and hypertension or cholesterol meds. So if I see a patient with cholesterol, I'll first propose, can we do portfolio diet, which is an evidence-based diet? And then if I see hypertension, can we do hibiscus tea? So we have all this data that's published. So that's how I'm differentiated, wherein it's an integrative model trying to kind of address the root cause of disease. So for example, if you want to do type 2 diabetes or heart disease reversal, Dean Ornish wrote this book called Heart Disease Reversal book, and S.L. Stein in Cleveland Clinic. So the same Dean Ornish is working on Alzheimer's disease. So we have so much data and evidence, but how do you put that into practice? And that's what my journey is all about, and that's how I'm different. And I'm so passionate about this disease reversal thing and the true definition of doctor, that I said this is my life mission, and I'm working on that. So I do, like for example, inflammation. I do ozone therapy, works on inflammation, and it works on killing all the fungi, bacteria, whatever you want to, all the bugs. And then it helps with the mitochondria. People feel energetic, people sleep well. So it depends on the person I'm dealing with that I use the modalities, get a treatment plan. Then I use GLPs if in case I have to motivate people, or continuous glucose monitoring to motivate people, get biofeedback. So each person, I play the game differently, and in order to achieve the same goal at the end.
So there are no rules to achieve the goal.
No, I use sometimes peptides. So I had a patient who needed tennis elbow. It's gone now, 3 years, he's still not. And then I use PRP, platelet rich plasma. I'm just now getting into exosomes and stem cells and muse cells. But whatever it takes to regenerate, help the body, because your body is so tuned with healing itself. Healthy, heal thyself. That's disease reversal.
Nice. That's an awesome take on health.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then my goal at the end is like not to have a life more than 100 years or no. I don't know when I'm going to die. Whatever that death point is, I want to be young with optimal function and quality of life. And I'm not sacrificing anything, but I'm optimized function, quality of life. And I want to die young, you know? And that's the goal of my mission in this life, in this journey for disease reversal and to live well and create habits because the habits stay long with a human being than anything else.
Yeah, my hope is you write your book, you train more people to live well and more practitioners who can adopt your system and help create more impact in
God,
multitudes.
once I do this well in my clinic, I actually want to create a business model around this, go to all the medical schools, and then teach the residents that they they can become an entrepreneur, bring back the healthcare into the hands of the physicians than the healthcare systems, so that it becomes easy for the healthcare practitioners to practice medicine, which we are actually trained to do.
So I'm going to be a devil's advocate here. How expensive is concierge medicine? Can a common man with insurance afford it? What do you
No,
think is the practical way for people to turn towards concierge medicine than the sick care model we have today?
yeah, I mean, if I have the power, I'll have the insurance people giving back the money for all the people who are trying to be healthy, that incentivize them for being healthy, but we incentivize people to be sick, to go to the hospital, the ER, and the costs keep escalating, and the GDP, we are spending a lot of money, significant amount of GDP on healthcare. So the best way is my concierge silver is about 1,000, gold is about 1,500, platinum is about 2,500. I mean, come on, like you go to a good restaurant now, you spend $500 for a meal with 4 or 5 people. So it's not, and this is for a year, but I'm buying time. You know what they're being saying
So
is
1,000 per month or per
a
year?
thousand a year,
Oh,
1,500
okay.
per year, 2,500 per year.
Okay. Very affordable, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, if you have 600 patients in a mix, that should be enough your salary to support you and give you the time. And you still build the insurance, however, and it's a hybrid model that I practice.
Okay. So this is like a value add to the existing practice kind.
Exactly.
Nice. So yeah, that seems reasonable enough. Somebody who wants to invest in their health and not disease,
Right.
help and guide with disease reversal. That's a decent way to get in and start young. I mean, the younger you start, probably you will be spending less over
You,
time.
I mean, I'll give you an example. I had a patient who had these nasal issues, and I said, "Why don't we do nasal ozone?" I mean, she's been suffering for many, many years, and now nasal ozone fixed her problems after 3 sessions. So,
Wow.
so that's the goal of, and the concierge medicine helps you to kind of experiment, bring what you want to bring into your practice, rather than the system guiding you. Because I have physicians here who cannot prescribe GLP-1s in their system, or send it to a compounding pharmacy, which is kind of ridiculous, you know. So, so the point is, I want the freedom and the independence of our physicians to get back. Medicine has been now centered in insurance and healthcare systems. It's time for the physicians to take back the healthcare model into their, and that's my big goal. Uh, Once I kind of successful and put the package together, and I can replicate it.
I mean, that is a very big goal to achieve, considering our healthcare system is slow to adapt. But I am assuming people who care about health will adapt to it fast. Uh,
And no doubt in the next 10 years, there'll be a lot more people who want healthcare and not sick care. I can
mhm.
guarantee.
I think that will pave way to why we are in healthcare, not to keep people sick, but we are here to prevent disease, reverse disease, and try to keep people healthy.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Dr. Gokula. This was kind of insightful into your journey, your spiritual, your intellectual, then your achievements, and then as we delve into disease reversal, the eight pillars, some ancient Indian scriptures guiding us, and the Kansiraj medicine model that is affordable but unique and different, where the only rule that you play by is to make sure the patient uh, gets to being healthy.
Healthy and live well. That's my
Mhm.
brother. Live well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gokula, and I wish you all the best. And I hope we as other practitioner, me and other, I don't practice medicine, but I practice in healthcare entrepreneurship. Me and other practitioners might learn a lot from what you do and help create models that will create more impact on health and people.
Lakshmi, I look up to you for guidance for my entrepreneur journey because you have more experience in entrepreneurship
No,
than
no,
me.
no, no. I am always there. I am a sponge. I learn. I feel I'm never the expert, but I will always connect people, and I just see things that people can't see, and hopefully, we can help each other. But again, that's a different conversation. But today, all we are going to talk about is disease reversal, a concept that needs to be implemented, and medicine, if people wants to consider, it's not expensive. It is available, and we see affordable Kansiraj medicine being practiced by you in a hybrid model, which people can avail. And I hope you can take this idea and we can all fly with it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Lakshmi, for this wonderful podcast and more power to you. And I love women entrepreneurs. Keep this journey going, and I'm always there for you if you need me for anything.
Thank you for well wishes, and we will keep the journey going and learning more as we interact with different people who are with the same mindset of
Have a
growth.
great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Smiling.
Thank you. I am.